Niggas mad, cause I'm about to bag. Never bag.
Love it.
All right, another one coming.
Fresh, come on. Another one.
Your topic was
Juneteenth?
yeah.
Okay. So pretty much the whole premise behind my topic of Juneteenth or whatever, I feel like Joe Biden is honestly just trying to pacify the black community by saying that by giving us Juneteenth and officially making the holiday after 155 years of it actually being celebrated in 47 states in the U.S. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, because he hasn't passed that George Floyd Policing Act, and he said he would pass it by the end of May, and he's passing Juneteenth now or whatever, I think that's just to appease our community or whatever. It's just like, here, you can have this, and you can work with this, but I'm not going to give you anything else. But yet, when the whole Asian community got behind that, the Asian hate bill or whatever, they got that shit passed in 3 weeks.
Wait, when did you guys first heard about Juneteenth? Just quick.
I want to say back when I was in high school.
Okay, high school, so between 2011, right?
Yeah, but I didn't actually recognize it or anything like that, celebrate anything like that though.
I think probably 3 or 4 years ago on that show Atlanta.
Oh wow!
Respect.
Mike,
Respect.
It probably might have been around that same time.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't know about it back in high school, so
Mhm.
it could have been during college at some point. But I didn't recognize it as a thing.
Right,
Unfortunately,
right.
well, people didn't really start recognizing it until last year.
dang.
For real.
Mm-hmm. That's big facts. That's big facts.
Yeah, I probably say around that.
Around the same time.
The older generations didn't send us the memo.
Watching politics, it really is like theater. Hearing Kamala Harris said, yes, for Joe, we finally made Juneteenth a federal holiday and stuff like that. I'm just like, you just said 3 weeks ago that racism is not a problem in this country.
Facts.
While your partner, Biden, says it is a problem. Y'all having issues.
Clashing. We just got to get this George Floyd Policing Act, signed. That needs to go down. If you promised it to us and you told us that it was going to be by the end of May, then you still need to make that shit happen. You know what I mean? So Joe Biden, fuck you until you get it done.
Well, just to build upon what he said, honestly, they throw these little things for our community, just to kind of make us happy for the time being, but it's never really a huge step that we take towards progress. It's always minimal steps, and then before you know it, he's out of office, and then the next person's promising something, and then we don't get that. So then it turns from 4 years to 8 to 12, and it's just like with everything else. We can't get the free college, can't get universal health care, you can't get the George Floyd law, but we can get everything else under the sun. We could get tax breaks, we could get military budget increases.
All the minor BS.
Right, for billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, but we can't get anything for the people. So
it's just minor pacification. It's all right, let's give them a little something. They gonna like this. And then they're just gonna forget about everything else that's going on. Everybody being murdered and killed and hurt.
Right.
This, that, and the third.
See, and it's just like Obamacare.
Mm-hmm.
They had the option to put a public option in their vote.
Mm-hmm.
And a public option is when you have the choice of paying for healthcare or you can get the government version of it, right?
Facts.
But they chose not to put it in there. Like one person ended up blocking it, so we end up having to pay for insurance.
Exactly.
So,
it has to be unanimous.
right.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one Democrat during the Obama administration, because people fail to realize for about 9 months, Obama actually had both of the House and the Senate. And it seems like they can't get anything done in 9 months, but the Republicans getting a lot done in 6 months. So
Even less than that.
right, 3 months and everything changed.
Exactly.
Tax cuts, everything. So
They know how to push that needle, man.
Let me ask y'all, what do y'all think goes through their heads, these politicians' heads, when they step over, symbolic change and just dive right into, I guess, material change? Because if you think about it, me personally, I don't see Juneteenth necessarily helping black people in a way. So it's like, what do you think goes through those politicians' heads?
it actually helps corporations to have more holidays.
I was just thinking about that.
So
shit.
if you think about it, Christmas, all of these holidays,
Money.
More money.
motivate people to go spend money. So how, I guarantee you, if we see some type of economic chart for America or whatever region celebrate this new holiday, I
think it's about
guarantee you,
47 states.
I guarantee you, it's a spike on that day or the week of.
That's not a win then.
It's not.
For corporations.
For corporations,
But not for the people.
that's exploiting us.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's exploiting history.
Valentine's Day, Martin Luther King Day, I mean,
Christmas, Easter.
But that's exploiting the whole race of people.
So,
because if people are not at work, they probably spending money.
so I'm in the future, right?
Okay.
So next year, Juneteenth falls on the same day as Father's Day.
Wow.
It's gonna be hella
It's-
cards
it's-
for black fathers.
See, I just seen a video about this earlier today. It was like they can never give fathers shit. Like we never get shit on Father's Day. And next year it's gonna be ruined.
They said we get a time, mama get a trip.
Yeah.
You get a time.
Go ahead, bro, because you want to hit the group chat with some deep shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's-
God, what's
that's-
y'all?
Dive deep.
What's y'all
That's you,
purpose?
sharpshooter.
Sniper
Nah,
gang.
That's really some shit that I be thinking about, like high or sober. Like I really
Uh-huh.
want to get y'all take. Like, what do y'all personally? What do y'all think is the true meaning of this whole life shit? You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, the everlasting question that I always have. I mean, I have life tattooed on me because that's a question that I ask myself. Like, what is life? Like, I know people make a joke out of it, but
Right.
there's no definitive answer for it to me.
I feel like this is my own personal belief and thought. I feel like the meaning of life is to figure shit out. It's to figure yourself out. It's to, live for yourself, live for others. I feel like the meaning of life is to promote growth in yourself as well as others, honestly. To contribute to everything around you in any way, shape, or form possible in a positive way.
Yeah, I would just look at it from the biological standpoint of, protect, provide, be fruitful, and have strong offspring that can continue the cycle.
I really think we're big on evolution. We supposed to evolve. Like that's dope. You're a history buff. You know what I'm saying? But like, I know people that know their family lineage, and they know what's the next step for them to do. If that makes sense, For example, like me, my family are like in the medical field. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. I broke that chain because I didn't go to the medical field.
Yeah.
My brother didn't go to the medical field, and my other brother's a bum. So it's like we broke that. It broke with us, right? So now we have to evolve that thing. Like, you know how you have your family function, and they be like, "Oh yeah, my uncle and aunts, they doctors, they lawyers," and right, that's that one tier, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets down to your cousins.
Oh God! Mark it down, son.
Oh,
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
It be like,
I'm getting paid.
EPMD.
it be like, oh yeah, what y'all doing? Oh, yeah, I'm supervisor at Walmart, or I work at T-Mobile, or you know what I'm saying. So it's just that cycle. So now I feel like when the elders from the tree ask me and my brother, oh yeah, what y'all doing? Oh yeah, I'm a musician. I'm an entertainer. That's what I feel like. That's my purpose. Not feel. That's what I want to do. That's the energy that attracts me the most. You feel
Well,
me?
you're opening the door for entrepreneurship in the family. Just tell them that.
Because
ultimately-
Dominicans do not want to hear none of that.
Hey, because that's
Anybody from the island,
That's
bro.
that's the real freedom, though. People look at entrepreneurship like, oh, I bet if you owned a store or something of that nature, then it's like, okay, it's respectable, But they don't look at the new types of internet money that can be made or.
But then you gotta think about it, bro. Like you said, Haitians and Dominicans don't want to think about it. Caribbean people, they come from.
They got stores. They got them bodegas.
Yeah,
They come from hard work.
but they also come from squalor. They come
Yeah.
from dirt and nothing.
Mhm.
So, back in the day, their, I guess, view of like economic salvation was education.
Mhm.
So you don't want to hear none of that entrepreneurship. Like, we want to see results right now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of times, and that's not even with like, I feel like, just to veer off slightly, it's not even in the Caribbean community, this is a black community, period.
Right.
If, you're not seeing results, it's like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a misguided thought process too,
That was
because
well put.
so many people go to college, they end up with $80,000, $100,000 in debt. You have a bachelor's degree and let's say a general field, and they don't necessarily even tell you to go to college and network because that's more important than the actual
Any
degree. Like you meet a friend there who's already set. Their parents already have a company, and then they can grandfather you in, and you don't have to start off making 40,000. You start off at 70. So that's what other coaches do that we don't do. We don't put ourselves in position in the places where we're already are.
No, I definitely. I feel like us as a community though, we lack patience. We lack patience, and we went to your family function, and there was like, they stressed on the degree. Gotta get that paper,
bro. Like it's.
And me personally, I felt uncomfortable. I was like, man, I'm a dropout. I could have graduated.
Ain't nobody gonna judge you in that setting, though. You know what I'm saying? If anything, they would judge me. You know what I'm saying?
That's because of your family,
right? You know what I mean? And I don't know, man.
I feel like the system just it's set up to work against us, bro. Like if you think about college, bro, all it is like a debt system, bro. You know what I mean? It's just credit. You know what I mean? That's all it is. They're setting you up to be a debt the rest of your life. You know, because the actuality of you actually, getting a job or career in the field that you're looking to do, you know what I mean, is very slim to none. You know what I mean? That's why right now this entrepreneurship stuff is so prominent. You know what I mean? Because people are realizing like, damn, it's really hard to get into these jobs that I actually went to school for and I spent 4 years learning about. And then half of the stuff that you're learning in college, like the math and stuff, you're not actually applying in your everyday life. You know what I mean? So a lot of that stuff falls by the wayside. Well, what did I learn this for? What did I pay all this money for? Whatever. I paid all this money to get 120 credits and only use, 10 of those credits? It makes no sense. You know what I mean? It's really backwards. It's really, really backwards.
There's absolutely no reason why if I just graduated high school, I should have to take any general studies about history, fucking algebra. I don't need to learn a quadratic equation in my life. I don't need linear fucking equations. I'm not using the... I can't even pronounce the shit. I can't even remember how it's
The
pronounced.
diagram there.
Yeah.
Lord.
Man, I'm telling you.
So to be honest, I didn't even do any research on it because I am the research, if that makes sense. Joe Biden claiming $3 billion worth of student debt. I definitely checked my Credit Karma, and I'm still $31,000 in the hole. But mind you, right, here's what, when we piggyback off the Democrat Republican, how Republicans get things done fast. When Trump was in office, they had the little COVID thing, and he signed a bill saying, okay, no interest will be used on student loans, right? I literally, once he signed that, 2 days later, I went to Credit Karma, and I seen it went from 31 to 21 because it's 10,000. That's how messed up the system is. It's 10. I mean,
all that interest.
$10,000 in interest. I could pay that 21. Nah, still got 10 days. You feel me? So
yeah.
So I'm thinking like, if he were to do that, right? What will happen?
Well, what he said was that he's only willing to eradicate 10,000 of that student debt, and they were trying to push for him to eradicate up to 50,000. And he was like, "No, that's just not gonna happen. It's impossible. No, I'm not gonna be able to get that through." Which I know is straight cap, but hey, you know what I mean? Like the politicians.
That's why we
What
need
do you
Trump back
expect?
in office. I'm not even gonna cap.
Because they could get a military an extra $20 billion a year.
Yeah. Oh man, and this has to do with student loans, but this has to do with Joe Biden and billions of dollars. Okay. This man signed into a play to help black farmers, right? Get $4 billion to get black farmers out of debt because the agricultural department, defense, whatever,
It was
doing them dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Why these white farmers say, "Oh, no, that's racist," and then a federal judge stopped the funding?
Wow.
A federal judge stopped $4 billion to help somebody out of debt, and white people say, "No, that's racist." When you like, I want to see this play out. Like, how are they gonna win this in court? I mean, they're gonna win regardless if they hit them with history and facts. How they were being redlined, how they had when they were sending applications through and nothing would happen, and when they sued them back in the 90s, like
$4 billion is nothing compared to the amount of money that African Americans lost over the past 100, 200 years, just being blocked out of certain systems and government funding.
I just want my 40 acres and a view. I'm cool.
And they did that back in the day. Like they took a whole bunch of tractors and went to the White House steps and circled that. You know what I'm saying? Circled it like it was like, yeah, hog tie. Like, it was the tractors, bro. Like they was serious.
Yeah.
And they won that case. They won $1 billion from the government. And never got none of it. And never got none of it. There's farmers that didn't get any of it. It went from 15% black farmers to now it's roughly like 2.1.
I mean, the court of law almost means nothing because I mean, when you find out that they proved that the government killed Martin Luther King Jr., they proved it in court. I mean, nothing happened. So I mean,
well, the family got
the same thing with.
I mean,
but the government never took no shame.
Right.
You know,
there's no recourse.
To respond to that, like, is money even a good compensation for that?
No, not really.
For the admittance of like the government being involved in like a family member.
Imagine killing. I killed somebody and then I could just pay their family $50 million and I don't go to jail.
But that's the thing.
I mean, that can't happen on an individual level, so it shouldn't happen from an entity level either.
I feel like they need to pay that $50 million, and they also need to get life, or they need to die. You know what I mean? Like it needs to be equal. It needs to be equal. I need this bread. That's not equal enough for me. You need to die, or you need to go to jail for life.
Whoever called the shots, right?
I hear you.
They need to get knocked off.
I hear you, but let me tell you, some people are ready to get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker. You know, with the, and I know we got off topic from the Biden thing, but that's how much we hate Biden. Like we hate Biden that much. So but we talking about the family and the compensate for murder, whatever. What's that gender dude? The one that transgender one that went from male to female.
Caitlyn.
Oh,
you remember he killed somebody in a car crash?
He did.
He did.
Wait, no, I
think I remember something.
And he was texting and driving. He killed somebody in a car crash.
Wow.
And he didn't go to jail at all. I mean, money talks.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted now. Money talks.
Well, they always say you could pay your way out of jail no matter what. If you got the right amount of bread, you could pay everybody off and get away scot free.
And it's still racist because free Rollo, dog, because he got the money to get out. Like, free Rollo.
Oh yeah, fam goon.
So it's like, I mean, it just depends. Like, damn, I wonder why Trump didn't get Rollo off pardoned. Like, what the fuck? Why nobody
that would have been necessary. That would have been necessary.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
he took care of the whole hood for real. He bought out the whole apartment complex in his neighborhood, buying everybody cars, giving them jobs,
and that's why they won't let him out. I mean,
like nobody had to pay rent, bro.
He's been a blueprint for something they don't want us to do. They want you to go buy chains and watches and throw your money at the club. They don't want you to buy a whole block and take care of your people and show them the Muslim religion. And which teaches discipline and structure. They don't want those type of things instilled in a whole nation of people. So,
but to buy a whole neighborhood and everyone that lives there never has to pay rent, and buying folks cars and like giving them jobs, and he was doing all the right. He got the money. Maybe I wouldn't even say the wrong way because I don't believe that's the wrong way. I really don't. But he got his money and he was trying to invest it back into the community, and then you knock him off because he was doing the right thing. Like. That's ridiculous, man.
I mean, it's not a wrong way, like you were saying, because the government sells opioids.
Yes, they do.
So
on a high scale.
And I mean, they're highly addictive. That's why they're calling an opioid crisis when it hits white America.
Exactly. But when it hits black America, it doesn't matter.
To respond to you, I remember going to the Chrysler Museum maybe like 5 years ago, and they had this little art display, and it was a pharmaceutical art display. They had like a bunch of like gelatin pills, like giant art pills, all scattered around the floor. And on the description, it talks about the pharmaceutical industry. It's probably worth more now, but back 5 years ago, bro, the pharmaceutical industry was worth like $3.5 billion.
Probably trillion.
Probably trillion now.
No, yeah.
Probably trillion now, and that's some real spill, bro. Like when you have surgery, like there has to be a more natural way for you to recover than OxyContin or hydrocodone.
Very much so.
Of course, it's natural. It's because it's derived from natural
resources,
right? But they choose to process it and then reformulate it and put it in this packaging and charge you $1,000 a pill.
Well, what's the craziest part about it to me is they actually I think this was probably back in the 80s and 90s or whatever. They had a system in place for as far as like an HR department for like the medical industry or whatever, you know what I mean? And they actually eradicated that department and put lawyers in place. So whereas
That's
like
why you
there's
fuck it up.
exactly, so now there's nobody truly regulating that shit. It's like, okay, so so what's the quickest way to just go ahead and throw them some bread and get them out the way or whatever, so we can keep on moving, keep doing what we're doing? Because that's all they're doing now. They're just throwing bread at the issue rather than having somebody in place to regulate and like moderate and mediate the situation. You know what I mean? So if anything goes wrong, okay, let's throw them some money.
I mean, even in those situations, let's say the FCC and all of those types of organizations, oftentimes there's a revolving door. These people go from the top companies to the top position in those regulatory bodies.
Police, right? There's a study that 70% of attorney generals in these localities of the police were former police.
Oh wow!
So that's an example right there.
Right. That's
So
perfect.
you thinking the attorney general is gonna be unbiased? No,
Nope.
police.
He's,
So
he's with the police. doing it.
Exactly.
See, I watched this documentary about a year ago, and it was about like all the large like corporations or whatever, and how they would get together and they would put a lot of money behind the different politicians, whether it's state, local, or national or whatever. And pretty much they would pay their way to get certain laws passed or whatever. You know what I mean? Just like around the time like back when Walmart allowed you to, have guns when they sold guns, firearms and all that stuff or whatever. In order for them to make that happen, to make that law go through or whatever, they pumped a bunch of money into the politicians and they went ahead and approved that law and made a bill for it. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, like all these large corporations have says in everything that, we do in our everyday life, in every bill, in every law, whatever, because they're paying their way.
Right.
If we set up a national black caucus for us, I mean, I understand that there is one, but it doesn't seem like we're getting too much
what
done.
we have to do is put money into it, have specific agenda that we're going for, because there's too many black organizations going for different things. We need about 3 things we're going for, put all of our money into those 3, and some of the most important is the prison reform, as well as the college
Man,
and healthcare.
fuck that prison reform stuff, bro.
Bruh, the Jewish community, they donate religiously every month to their caucus, bro. And they make sure the things that they need, the things that they want, it gets done. Because everybody in their community works together and puts that money up monthly.
So
It's like a bill for them.
yes.
We need to do the same thing.
My topic is this meme that was going around. A female actually posted this. Men are really the prize because at the end of the day, he's going to be with the woman he wants. Women are going to be with the man that's available.
I seen something like that a few weeks ago.
So,
I seen that meme.
So that almost aligns with the relationship topics that are currently going on in the culture, where a lot of men are starting to finally understand their value. Because, all right, if there is only, let's say, 10% of men making over a certain amount of money, like over 40 or 50,000, but all women want those top 10% guys, right? And that's why we're having this discussion, because a lot of people, a lot of expectations from females are unrealistic, and in today's time, they oftentimes go after the guy that 10 other women are going after versus because like 50%,
Someone more suited for
yeah,
them.
it's like a good number of black men have been making progress. Like 50% of black men make like 40, 50,000 and have no kids. It's like good numbers, but those are not the ones that women want. Those are the ones they shit on, and that's the ones they put in the friend zone. You know?
Yeah,
I think to respond to what you're saying, a lot of these women go after like these high value men, and my question is, those women that go after those high value men, are you bringing something of equivalence to the table?
Right, that he wants.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's when it's always like a level thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If we on like the same level, but we constantly, you know what I'm saying, progressing, there shouldn't be any resentment because we're always on each other's side, respectively leveling up. But if you want the high level man and you a mid level woman, and vice versa, then you can't be mad if homes don't want to give you the time of day, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Not even the time of day, but they don't like. All right, like my situation right now, right? Talking to Shorty, she's very territorial. Okay,
Most women are.
And she feels the need that since we're dating, you can't think. When the hell did you switch your shirt? When
Yo, I was thinking the same shit when at the beginning of
Wait,
the
hold on.
recording.
I'm the only one representing the team.
I just looked across and I was like, oh shit.
Right.
Nah, I was saying though, she's very territorial,
Mhm.
and she feels the need that, okay, now there can't be no other woman in your life besides me. We got into an argument because a girl that I used to talk to, we never had sex. We just had a little platonic fling. It was cool. She liked me a lot. I didn't like her that much. But we have each other's news as our screensaver. So when we call, it'll pop up.
Whoa.
So I know.
Well, I mean,
so listen.
I mean,
it's quick. It's quick.
I kinda-
Dude, that's so
yeah,
problematic.
exactly. Like,
Oh,
what?
I'm in the wrong.
That's so problematic.
I gotta go. I'm in the wrong. I thought you were at my back.
No.
Oh.
I know.
Let me. Well, I mean, from the perspective of he's not married to either one.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
he can do what he
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
You
I'm
not
It's whatever. It's whatever you. Whatever standards you set
Mhm.
and rules. I mean,
I
in
get
the
that. I get
situation.
that. But I feel like.
Oh God.
No, let him speak.
No,
Let him speak.
I'm trying to be of help. I'm trying to be of help. This is how you cause, because I don't like having them fucking discussions. I don't
Yeah.
like having those arguments.
I mean, she need to know not to have that
Anxiety
discussion
is-
in the beginning though, because all right, let's say we're not. All right, y'all not married. Women, you can talk to a woman, and she see your value immediately, and she becomes territorial even before y'all put a label on it.
Facts.
As well as, I mean, I guess you need to just have a discussion,
Cause
set in the boundaries. I mean, you can still do what you want,
Because she knows that I could bring a lot to her life.
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Abundance.
Abundance. You know what I'm saying?
So,
And
and
like,
if she play her position properly,
well, she won't, because I try to tell her I want to be polyamorous. Because once you start getting some money, you start wanting to have options.
right?
You feel me?
I
And-
mean, is she gonna be the number one?
yeah.
Okay, it's because it's still like a ranking
Of
system.
course,
It's a
of
tier
course.
system.
And she got
Is it a little
and she got a green like the new one.
Exactly.
Okay.
See, and that's why I said it was kind of problematic, because it's like, even if you like polyamorous, you know what you're doing, and she's the top joint, even if she is the top joint, bro, you have to know that if she see a nude of any sort, screensaver or what, she gonna pop off, cause emotions. You know what I'm saying?
Not necessarily.
No,
But all right, think about this: when they're on their period
Uh-huh.
and they act out at home with you, right?
Mhm.
You're look, yep, and you're the leader. Yep, look, look, you're the leader. You're the leader in the home. You provide, you protect. They'll have an attitude with you when they're on their period. But then when they go to work and deal with their male boss, guess what? Their whole demeanor change because they understand the hierarchy, the standards that are set. It don't matter what you got going on. They'll come in here.
with that bullshit.
Right. So it needs to be that same type of respect within
At home.
relationships. Like control, you can control it when you feel like there's gonna be recourse.
And
You're not showing up late.
Mhm.
You're not talking back, and it's a lot of things you're not doing when you at work with.
Well, that's because you're in close proximity, so they feel like they can try you more. You know what I mean? Oh, he's always gonna be here, and I can always depend on him, and he's gonna take whatever the fuck I throw at him. You know what I mean? That's just their
And
mindset.
that's
they
the
think.
problem. That's
Exactly,
the problem.
and that's what we need to restructure and do something about. You know what I mean?
I don't mean to cut you off, bro, but I seen a video where a shorty said the exact same shit. She said she does not want a man. Her partner cannot make the same amount of money that she does.
That's a problem.
They gotta be a double or triple that.
Because it's good men at 40,000, it's good men at 80, it's good men at 120, it's good men at $1 million. But the more you go up in the hierarchy of pay scale, you have to be willing to deal with more, because the guy actually has more and more leverage as you go up the economic chain.
Exactly.
More women want him. In general, I mean, me and one of my colleagues were talking about it. Like CEOs, you don't really see too many fat CEOs. Like as you go up, the guy's discipline level goes up in every aspect of life.
Right.
So when he comes home, he doesn't want a woman that's nagging. He doesn't want. It's a lot of things that, and I mean, ultimately, he still wants the pick of the litter in certain instances. Some guys they don't. Some guys do.
See, the more you go up, the more you want to take better care of yourself. The more you want to groom yourself better. The more money you make, the more you want to get more in shape. You know what I mean? Like,
Unless-
you look better in life.
Quote that,
Yeah,
baby.
I mean,
You should have a
yeah.
6
The
pack
more money you make, the more you want to get in shape,
And less bullshit you want to listen to.
and less bullshit you want to take. You know what I mean?
You're not gonna tell a woman you're not gonna come home making $250,000, and then the woman tells you you ain't
The
shit.
trash.
You ain't cook. You ain't do this or that. Who are you talking to? Because I got like 30 employees. Like,
Man,
you not my boss.
Man, fuck all of that. I'm calling up Ruth over there.
You should have called. Right. Because then as you go up, you should have just called Molly Maid.
Exactly.
Have that conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Facts.
And I feel like the whole it's mainly like women having these monetary equality conversations. I don't see a whole lot of dudes like saying like, yo, I gotta have this woman who's making like these racks on racks on racks like me. It's just like, yo, if I'm being the breadwinner and I'm holding down the family
Right.
consciously and I'm a good dude,
Yeah.
just bring me some fucking peace, man.
Right.
That's all you need to do.
Just bring me some peace.
As a
Right.
black man, we go out in the world every day and have to deal with so much bullshit. Why the fuck do we gotta come home and deal with more bullshit? Only thing you need to do is just be bringing that peace. Bring some solitude, bring some quiet, like just bring that.
Like,
Bring that femininity.
Cool.
Girl, just bring your mouth. Just bring your mouth. The second I come home, hey baby, you alright? Get to work.
That super sucker.
Hey.
I know I bought a vacuum, but you're also a vacuum too, so clean me.
As soon as she start asking questions,
Just pop this in there real quick.
Right, you know what I'm gonna do? That way she can't even avoid me. I'm gonna put a ladder right next to the door. The second I walk in, I'm just gonna get right face level. And like, so babe, so tell me about your highs and lows. Oh, I'm this high today, baby.
And you this low.
Yeah, so, that is true though. Some bringing peace would be cool, but honestly, no, I'm different. I like to go get it. If I'm dating a shorty and she makes more than me, I'm big on steel sharpening steel. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to triple your stuff, and then she'd be like, oh, you did that, and she go, you know what I'm saying? I like to be challenged in a relationship.
The go-getter aspect. What if she adds value in terms of, all right, you need things done. Let's say you make more. You need things done to help you propel, to help the team to help you propel forward or further up.
You know, you see the word you just used?
What?
Team.
Right. So, because
some women don't do that.
Right.
That's why this is why I do not. I mean, because you're up again. This is why I do not like English. Okay.
Mhm.
Why do you have a relationship, a partnership, a best friend? Okay. If we didn't have all those labels, like we just put everything under one, I think people will
it need to be partnership as a business.
Yeah.
Honestly,
especially when you get married.
Because I'm in the point in the marriage like respect is more important than love, else. Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I don't think is being instilled in our generation. They think it's supposed to be a fairy tale, but it's actually respect and support.
Yeah. You can't just look good and then everything else is shit. You know what I mean? Your personality and everything else has to be up to par as well. You know, because if you're not giving me the simple level of respect, then I'm not gonna respect you, and this is just gonna dissolve on its own. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's unnecessary.
Yeah, most definitely. Like that respect shit is definitely the foundation. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely the foundation. Because I definitely blocked you bitches because
they ain't respect your time.
You, but they didn't like. They were fine and shit, but
they'll say what they want.
Not even say what they.
They just didn't respect your time.
They ain't talking to me crazy, never that. But they ain't respect like my time, how I respect my time and others' time.
Right.
So you gotta let that shit go. It's all communication, man. And honestly, this is coming from a person who, in the past, was not the best communicator. But I'm a better communicator now, so I can talk my shit. You know
Talk that shit, bro.
But it's like if you're gonna be late, just tell me you're gonna be late. If you got shit going on, tell me you got shit going on.
See, and I disagree with that, right? All right.
Okay.
Well, you don't want to know.
Nah.
Or is that because you late?
It's not even that at all, right? You know, I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know,
Don't be late. He's like, don't be late.
It's like
you're not late to your job interview, are you?
That can scare some women away, and that is a deal breaker for me.
What's that?
Authority. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you are the leader. You're the authority. You're the leader.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like if like nothing's worse than miscommunication when shit has been communicated. If that makes sense, you know.
Mhm.
So like, you tell a girl off rip how you are, everything, they fall in love with that. And then when you're still being yourself, you get chastised for it because you're supposed to change because we're together now. You ain't supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z. But if I told you from rip, this is who I am, and this is why you're even here in the first place because of you fell in love with who I am, why would I change for you?
So there can be pushback in relationships when people, let's say you're a certain way. Let's say you're going up right now.
Right.
But there could be things that you're doing that are detrimental to you growing even faster. And oftentimes we see our progress already happening, so we're like, this person coming in telling me this, that, and the third. It could be good for you, or it may not be good for you. But you have to be self-aware enough to decipher between, is my ego getting in the way of sound advice, or chastisement, or is it her just wanting me to be a certain way? Because you get what I'm saying? Because it could be that person like, okay, well, you smoking a lot. I mean, that could be time you doing music. I mean, or maybe you're more productive when you don't smoke. If that's something that she was saying.
If a check, damn, I'm thinking about money. If a chick told me that,
Yeah.
right,
Then
I'd be like, oh yeah, I needs that energy.
Yeah.
But a girl ain't never gonna tell you that because why? She wants to smoke the blunt with you.
I mean, you might get with somebody.
She want to smoke that blunt with you.
She might change, or you might find, or somebody may not want to smoke one day.
Right, because you gotta understand, especially if you're in the field of service that a woman needs. Like trust. When I was wearing that PacSun, man, I would give whoever I'm talking to free stuff. You know what I'm saying? Oh, don't worry, girl, just pull up. You know what I'm saying? You buy one thing, you gonna walk out with 5. I got you. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? All that for the neck.
Finesse guy.
Yeah,
No, I was saying about communication and like, like if we set time aside to like hang out, whatever, and you're gonna be like maybe like 15, 20 minutes late to let me know, you was like, this is where I disagree, and then y'all got into your own thing.
Oh, I disagree with that because, like I said, some women don't respect authority.
Hey, yeah, run that up,
bro.
Run that up.
We need lifetime supply of taquitos over here.
$1 pieces, guys.
We're out with Off Top Shop.
Hey.